room if you want to sign it on your way out. We hang it in the 5th grade hallway. I just wanted to real quickly introduce myself. If you're new to Midtown, my name is Savannah Deniser, and I have the best job in the world, and I'm the principal here. And I have known a lot of your kids for a very long time, and I can't believe that they're 5th graders already. And I'm going to retain them all, so I'm not sure where we're going to put them, but I don't want them to leave. They're a wonderful group of kids, and they've just really gotten into the routines, and it's been a great start to school. Tonight will be extremely informative, and we'll share these slides with you. Thank goodness for the Boyer family. They are recording this for us, so that link was shared and will be shared again. So without further ado, I'll let them get started, and the first teacher is Miss Annie Glass.
Thank you all for joining us tonight. I am Annie Glass, a reading teacher for 5th grade, and the first slide that the first things we're gonna go over is the academic overview for 5th grade.
Here we go, hang on. It froze, sorry everyone.
All good. So we are following the Alabama course of study for the ELA standards. Those are all accessible for you if you want to take a look over those. We are using a new to the district program last year, which Ms. Chapman's going to share a little bit about, which is aligned with those standards.
Hello everybody, I am Ms. Chapman, and I want to just briefly I wanted to just briefly talk to you about 95%. It is a phonics curriculum that we are using just to help support our scholars with being able to get those fundamental pieces done. It's a critical piece in our literacy program. We do assessments throughout the weeks. Some of them are more formal, whereas others are focusing mainly on dictation and our ability to sound out words and create sentences that have beginning, flow, capitalization, punctuation, commas, and things like that.
Hello, I'm Miss Ranger, and so I'm going to talk to you about Open Court. You probably know Open Court from last year in 4th grade. It was a new adoption then, and several things have changed within Madison City with Open Court, so it's a little bit different. I specifically want to hit on assessments because I know that's always a parent question. And so the tests have changed. They are cold read, which basically means that the kids are reading like a 1-page passage the day of the test, and the questions are based on that passage that they're reading the day of the test. I think last year you were accustomed to your child reading the same story all week, and you were able to help them prepare in that way. So this is a little bit different. It's really testing how independently they can read the text and understand it on their own. So you'll start, we gave our first test this week, so you'll see those coming home, and if you have any questions about that, please don't hesitate to ask. Also, we have independent reading goals. This is what your child can read independently. So we will assign them different genres, like different styles of literature that they would read in various months, and they are required to do book commercials 3 per semester. And so we will send home information about that with them. It will be posted on Schoology, however your teacher communicates in that way, the expectations, the rubric, what that should look like. So they will visit the library at the beginning of the month to choose their book and learn about that genre. They'll have all month to read it, and then we'll do their book commercial at the end of the month.
Hey everybody, my name is Miss Lynn. I'm one of our 5th grade math teachers here. And I'm going to be talking about the Alabama State Standards as well as the Numeracy Act. The state of Alabama has laid out a list, a very detailed list, of all of the things that your child should know and be able to do by the end of 5th grade in math. And so we use that list to make sure that we're covering everything throughout the year. The Numeracy Act is basically just the state's way of ensuring that students are supported in mastering all of those standards. So the state will lay out different things that we can do to make sure that students are supported, including designing our classrooms to offer both whole group instruction as well as small group instruction when students need extra support in going over something. And the Numeracy Act also provides for tutoring, the hiring of our amazing math coach, and we also offer our main math curriculum, which is Big Ideas. And then for small group instruction, we use a program called Do the Math. And then for our tutoring, those kids will have the opportunity to use a program called Focused Math. Okay, so this is kind of how we balance all of the things that we need to do within our math class. And we call our math classes math workshops because the idea is that different kids may be working on different things, much the way people would work on different tasks in a workshop. So we will, like I said, we'll do whole group instruction and then also pull kids to a small group to go over things. We teach fluency, which in 5th grade, fluency is mainly them practicing their multiplication and division facts. And we have games and other kind of engaging ways for them to do that. We also do something called running records in 5th grade, which is kind of like a very quick interview with the child to see what strategies they can use to solve problems that may be unfamiliar to them. And then we use those conversations to plan either like tasks that they can work on to practice those math facts or another small group lesson. Okay, so AART is my math class, that's our advanced math class. And so we use, in AART, we use a program called Mentoring Mathematical Minds, or M3 for short. And so using that, we use big ideas more for like extra practice. The emphasis in M3 is more on offering students experiences to uncover the meaning behind the mathematical procedures that they learn. So for example, instead of just teaching kids how to add decimals, we might play a game where as we're discussing the strategies to do well at the game, they're also kind of uncovering some systems that we use to add decimals. And then after we do the game and the conversation, then I go back and kind of fill in any holes with explicit instruction to make sure everybody does in fact know how to add decimals.
Hello, my name is Kimberly Downing. I am Science and Social Studies. And there at the top, in 2023, we did have a new adoption of Alabama Social Study for Science, and you can go online and see those standards there. We are also going to be receiving AMSTOC kits, really excited about that. Ms. McCall and I both are going to AMSTOC training at the end of this month, and we will then be able to receive kits. And in those kits are thousands of little tiny pieces that you have to keep up with and you get to do fun experiments with. So when we get trained throughout this year, you will hear more about those AMSTOC kits that we will receive. So we're super excited. And we also have stethoscopes, which is another curriculum that we use that follows along with the Alabama course of study.
Good afternoon, I am Arlita McCall. I also teach science and social studies. Basically, we use the Studies Weekly program, which you all should see your kids coming home with newspapers, with nice bright highlights throughout those newspapers, because we read those newspapers on a daily basis. But there's also an online component that goes along with that hands-on newspaper. So what we do is we read the newspapers aloud, we talk about key points in them, the kids will work in small groups and discuss what they feel are important parts, highlight that stuff, and then the online component is usually assigned as an in-class assignment, and anything that they do not finish in class comes home for homework. My kiddos took their first social studies test today. I did allow them to use the newspaper as a reference point, but that will not always be the case. So what we're doing is trying to teach them how to study, how to take proper notes, and how to prepare for test taking. But Studies Weekly, the newspaper, the online component, check their notebooks. That's a really good way to help them master those skills.
I think we can all agree that our kids are living in a digital world and they're fully immersed in that pretty much all the time. So we are making sure to embed lessons in digital citizenship and digital literacy in all of our lessons. So in ELA, they might learn the basics of word processing or using the internet responsibly to do research. In STEM class, they do some something called computational thinking, which is just a set of problem-solving strategies that helps them to express a problem and their solutions in a way that a computer would understand. And we're very lucky in Madison City that we have access to programs like Breakout EDU, which gives the kids like it's problem solving in a game format, and also teaches them a little bit about coding. And they have other programs that they use to teach them the basics of coding as well.
What digital access looks like at home. So when you're at home with your scholar and you're like, what do I do? The teacher told me I have a test. I don't see the studies weekly they can go home. How do I get to those items? What do I do? On every child's computer, when they log in, they have full access to Clever. They can go to it by going to NCS bookmarks. They have a plethora of great resources on just that folder that they can go to do reading, for science practice, their power school grades if they say they can't get to them, tag right there. But they can go there, and when they get on the Clever, all of the resources that we use in the classroom are available to use even at home. So it's not just school and on the school service, it's available at home for you as well. It also allows them to get to Schoology, so whenever there's a Schoology assignment that they may need to finish, they can get to all of those things that we do in class by just a little tab. It's on the top left-hand corner of their bookmarks, already on their bar. Go Guardian, I love Go Guardian. It is a great system that we use to monitor devices at school. What it allows us to do is make sure that we have a safe and secure digital environment when scholars are in class. But what happens is when they go home, our system doesn't work anymore. So we need your help. Computers are awesome, they are wonderful, but they still need to be monitored for the scholars. So having a time where we are working on schoolwork and focused on school, and just what can we do, when do we turn it off, when do we make sure we put it on the charger to make sure we're ready, is very vital for us so that they can do what they need to do in the classroom. There is not a Go Guardian that we have access to, so we can't help you if they're like, hey, can you lock their computer, or things like that. But there are other systems and apps that you can use at home to monitor them that should be able to work, that you guys can utilize.
And this is just a continuation of what Chapel was talking about. This is what she was just talking about. Clever is a single sign-on where you can find your students' logins to various different things on. Like for example, I have a page, and then if they go to Ms. Downing's page and they need to go to their STEM skills, or they need to go to their Studies Weekly, those links, we just say you need to go to Clever. You need to go to my Clever page. So just continue to teach that verbiage to them so that they know that on their Clever page are those single sign-ons. And then from the NCS bookmarks, you can get to the Google Classroom and Schoology and the other, and also PowerSchool. If you want to see their grades, you can click directly on the NCS bookmarks and PowerSchool, and it will pull up the students' grades for you. Okay, yay, I get to talk about assessment. Woohoo! So, our iReady, it is administered 3 times a year, and we are all so excited that it is now completed for the beginning of the year. Yes. Woohoo! So that is also going to be administered then in the winter months, and then again in the spring months. And we use that data throughout the school year to drive instruction, as well as, thank you, that was the other thing. So it also, the data that the students have when they take that test will also help with their middle school class placements when they go into middle school. So that is iReady. And of course, formative assessments, each teacher has their own way in which that they will assess the students with observations and classwork, homework, and tests. So that are some of the examples of ongoing formative assessments that will be in the classrooms. And then, of course, we all know ACAP, and that is our end-of-year test that we all are required to take here. And just make sure that when we are at that point, that the students are getting lots of good sleep and lots of good food, those are the three most important things. Anything else that I forgot? And there you go. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about homework. Some of the things that are really key and important is to make sure that your child is reading at least 20 minutes a night. They're practicing their math packs, and they're studying for science and social studies assessments. We don't necessarily say this is your homework, okay? Your child has time during the class period to work on work that is assigned to them. Now, anything that is not finished during that class time then becomes homework. So if your child ever comes home and says, I do not have any homework, they are not being honest with you. There is always something they can be doing. One of the reasons why I allowed the children to use their newspaper for their test today, because I asked them, when did you all start studying? A lot of them said last night. A lot of them said this morning. I said, ooh, we need to work on their study skills and how to study. So I'm planting these little seeds in them about as soon as they get the information, maybe that night, if you don't have any physical things to write down, maybe go through each subject and reread what was given to you, whether it was 3 vocabulary words in science, some new vocabulary words in reading, work a couple of math problems. Just take a look at that, and that is, the more you write it and the more you see it, the more it gets ingrained in your brain. So then when it is a test, you're not trying to cram all this information in at night. Because right now, it's the easy period. They've only probably had a test in, maybe 1 week. It might come a time where they have 3 a week, 1 every day. So getting that in the routine of just looking at something every night, that's very beneficial. And again, it's just necessary to review and practice. It's beneficial to the students, and just getting in that routine is very encouraged. I-ready expectations. We would like for the students to do 2 reading lessons and 2 math lessons every week at a 75% accuracy. So a lot of times the kids will say, well, I did my 2 I-readies. And they'll show me, and I'm like, ooh, you got a 40, sweetheart. You need to go back, and let's work at trying to get that 75%. The I-readies that are assigned weekly really help towards, test taking and ACAP, and it just prepares them for that. So it's really important that they do that. And they can do that at home. They're allowed time at school. Sometimes when they finish classwork with me in my classes, I allow them to work on I-ready too. So with the I-ready, they're expected those 2 lessons every week. Those lessons, if they are completed by Friday at 8 a.m., 2 reading lessons and 2 math lessons with 75% accuracy, they can receive free choice seating in the lunchroom. Because right now they have assigned seats where they have to sit at certain tables. And if they have that 75% accuracy, 2 of them done, they get free choice seating. So a lot of them have been super excited about that and working hard towards that. So again, even if they say, well, I don't have any homework, ask them, have you finished your I-ready lesson? Let me see those scores and those numbers. We're also our behavior plan. So I hope all of you at this time have joined your homeroom teacher's class dojo. If not, or if you're unsure of how to do that, reach out to your homeroom teacher. Basically what happens is points are removed in the dojo for poor choices, and behaviors are weighted based on the severity between 1 to 3 points. The first could be like a warning, a verbal warning, and it won't take anything away. 2 negative dojos, of course, is teacher consequence. 3rd negative, silent lunch, and maybe have to do a reflection paper where they're just thinking about their choices. 4th or 5th negative is a teacher consequence, like the teacher decides. And then 6th negative dojo is a lunch/recess detention. And then after that, we hit the office referrals. Now, instead of the positive dojo for 5th grade, we have a ticket system. So each of your child
each child should have a sheet. And on one side, it has like a grid on the back and it says tickets, and teachers can sign off on it. And those are for students who go above and beyond, you know. It's not like, you know, oh, Ms. McCall, I was standing quietly in line. Can you give me a ticket? No, it doesn't work that way. It's the above and beyond things. You know, a student might drop their thing. There are things in the hallway, and you see one student automatically go and pick that up instead of walking around the dropped mess in the hallway. So they might get a positive ticket. The reward categories range from 3 tickets, 5 tickets, and 10, and they carry their own ticket sheet. So they're responsible for keeping up with their own ticket sheet. So if they're rewarded a ticket, they can just hand that sheet to the teacher and they can quickly sign it.
So I get to talk about grading, but I also want to just mention, because I think we sent out that our notaries were sick, but actually we have substitute notaries over here. So we have one here and one who's coming. So I just wanted to mention that if you need to mosey over there while we're talking and listening at the same time. So report cards, I'm not sure if you're aware, but it's similar to 4th grade, and it will be similar to this in middle school when they go on. All of their grades are not weighted equally. And I think that's important to understand when you as a parent are looking at the assignment grade. Like, which ones do you want to stress over and which ones do you not want to stress over, essentially. Not that they're not all important, but they're weighted differently. So obviously you want to put emphasis on the ones that are worth twice as much, right? So for reading, any reading comprehension assignments or assessments will be worth 70%. So that's much more heavily weighted, in my opinion, in that particular category. Whereas language and spelling assessments will be 30%. I've already had a question about, do you even send them a spelling list? We don't. But also consider the weight on that in that particular category. Not to say it's not important, but just when you're working on it at home, kind of keep things in perspective with your child, especially if they're getting overwhelmed. In math, equally so, assessments are 70%, and then application, performance tasks, quizzes, like daily assignments are 30% of that grade. Science and social studies assessments are 60% of their grade, and lab and class assignments are 40% of their grade. So when you're looking at their average, it's not just a straight average. And the Power School does that for you as far as averaging it out. But if you have questions about it, let us know. So progress reports will come home, but in my personal opinion, you've got Power School. You have progress reports daily. They'll talk about it in a minute. You can set it up so you get a notification when we put a grade in. Some of you are shaking your heads like, yeah, we know. So yes, a progress report, like a physical copy, will come home, but I would just get in the habit of looking on Power School regularly. So those are the dates if you need them, just to make sure that your child is actually giving it to you. Sometimes it gets lost. Oh wait, or whatever the case may be. So if you need those dates.
So we're beautiful women here, we're absolutely fabulous, but we are not the special teachers, okay? We are the 5th grade curriculum teachers, but we do have a number of fabulous people who assist us with educating your scholars in different domains. So for counseling, Ms. Davis is our person. We do have Ms. Baker, who is the program counselor. She is new to Midtown. But for 5th grade specifically, Ms. Davis is our counselor. Is she here? Hi, beautiful. Stand up, stand up. Isn't she beautiful? She is our fabulous counselor who your scholars have already seen once so far, at least once, right? Coming into the classroom to work with our scholars, giving them uplifting support, suggestions, and strategies. And also, she did provide each teacher with a little blurb, a form to put in our Schoology. So if a scholar needs to talk to her, they're able to go into their Schoology, click on their form, and it can happen here or even at home. If you're like, hey, what happened at school today? Oh, I think we need to talk to Ms. Davis. But they can pull up that Schoology and send her a little note, a little blurb, and she will get to them as soon as she can, and she does a phenomenal job at that. Our library specialists, we have Miss Neal and Miss Jones. We also have the wonderful Mr. Newquist. Mr. New is our art teacher who's returning. Our new music teacher, Miss Francis, and the kids that they love her class. She's phenomenal. PE, we still have Miss Hostler, Miss Gardner, and Mr. Bradley, Mr. A. Spanish is still Senora Clemens. Every day she walks in, she says, "Hola, class." And they say, "Hola, Senora." Every single day, they do it in the hall as well. STEM is still the wonderful Miss Corley. The gifted program is Miss Tibbs and Miss Herring as well. And ESL is Miss Kappelman, and we now have Miss Curtis.
Okay, so here are a few things that you as parents can do to help your kiddos have a successful school year. Their backpack, inside of their backpack should be folders, necessary folders and supplies, pencils, that's a big thing. Their Chromebooks fully charged. Like they'll bring the Chromebook, but it won't be charged. So charging it at night, just them getting in that routine of once they finish their homework or studying, things of that nature, go ahead and plug it in. Water bottles, please bring refillable water bottles, but the water bottle must be potty trained. And you're probably looking at me like, what does that mean if you use as an example? If I were to turn this water bottle upside down, it would leak. It is not potty trained. So we cannot bring water bottles like this to school. We need the water bottles with the closable lids, not even the straw caps. That doesn't work, but it has to have that closable lid. So if you turn it upside down, nothing happens. Water bottles get knocked down off the desk, on the floors all the time. And I know we love those Stanley cups. But last year, we were constantly cleaning up water. Constantly cleaning up water. And please make sure in the water bottles, it's water. Not sodas, not juices, just straight water. Also, your children do receive a snack time during their Core 2 class. So we've had a lot of kids saying, well, I don't have a snack, I don't have a snack. So please make sure if you pack their lunch, maybe put an extra something in there for them to use for snack. And by snack, we mean a working snack. We should not be pulling out forks and spoons and napkins to stuff here. The whole Lunchable kits, just something quick that we can give us like a little quick energy boost. And we also would prefer if it doesn't leave any stains on my hands. So no Takis and Cheetos, just things that leave, grit. Because normally when they're coming in to our rooms, they're like writing stuff down in their paw pads. They're taking notes while eating the snack. So just something that's like a quick 5-minute something that they can nibble on while we get started with that transition. Okay, so these are ways that you can remain informed. We have weekly newsletters or emails that come out. Check the paw pad. The paw pad is key. The kids should be writing in that daily. There should be something in there daily, whether it's a no homework, whether it's test on this day, field trip form due, like they are writing in that paw pad daily. So if there is nothing in the paw pad, please ask your child why. It's just something should always be in that paw pad. Follow the school website, Facebook page, and use PowerSchool, Parent Portal, and just stay informed. And if you ever have any questions about anything, feel free to email. Okay?
Hi everyone, my name is Lauren Cecil. I'm one of the assistant principals here at Midtown. If I have not had a chance to meet you, my counterpart is right over there, Mr. Holmes. Say hey, Mr. Holmes. We are both the AP, so if you ever need anything, please feel free to reach out to us. I feel like I know most people in the room that have not had the chance to meet your family yet. I'd love to do so tonight. I'm going to talk really briefly about attendance. The main thing I kind of want to drive home is it's just so important for your kids to attend school as much as possible. Please trust me when I say, please do not send them sick. A lot they are well and you are here and you can get them to school, we want them at school every single day. If they do have to miss school, you can always send an email to MTS attendance right there, and it goes to Miss Baldwin, our registrar. There have been a few issues with it lately, so if you're not getting a response back, or you're still seeing it coded as an unexcused absence, or getting a phone call, please call the school or email me and let us know. We'll try to get that fixed. You can also submit attendance through Power School. Some people prefer to do it that way. Either way, it's totally fine. Whichever is the easiest for you. All that information is in this Demister's email. You can see our policy right here. 3 unexcused absences is a letter. 5 unexcused absences, you have to come meet with me in the middle of your workday. It's very inconvenient for everyone. I really don't want to have to do that with you. So if you can get those turned in, and then 7, we send it on over to central office. But as long as you're getting those inexcused, that can be doctor's notes, and you also get 10 parent notes for the year. So if you are getting stayed at home, but they're not sick, but you just kept them at home, that can be a parent note. You're going out of town on a Friday, that's a parent note. Anything like that. You get 10 of those a year, and then of course as many doctor's notes as you need. I will say the big number we really try to stay under, and it sounds crazy, but 18 absences. If they have more than 18 absences, they have missed 10% of the school year, and I would not be saying this if it did not happen. So if you're noticing they're getting in the teens, first of all, you'll hear from me. I won't be bothering you, I'm sorry. But if you're noticing they're getting on up there in the absences, kind of keep track of that too, because it's just really important that they are at school, especially in 5th grade. They're learning so much every day. And the next thing I'm going to talk about quickly is dress code. So our peer students are in 5th grade. They are the leaders of the school. We want them to look and act like our leaders of the school. Really just means that they are fully covered at all times, making sure shorts are long enough, t-shirts are long enough, all of that good stuff, and just making sure we're prepared and ready for the school day to go to PE, having the correct shoes, that kind of thing. The other thing I do want to touch on is masks and costumes. I know some kids get into those. That's wonderful. We just please ask that you keep those at home. They don't need to bring them. They can't have them at recess. They can't have them on the bus. I'm not talking like COVID masks. I'm talking like costume masks. We treat those just how we would every other part of the dress code. Just keep those at home. All of those costumes are good. So you just leave those at home, come to school with yourself, and you should be good to go. And I'm going to turn it over to the PTA.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Allison Finley. I'm the PTA president here at Midtown. And we just wanted to quickly tell you about, we would love to have you join the PTA. It's only $9, and it doesn't mean you have to volunteer. We just love for you to join, and then we are able to communicate with you, so send you out emails, important facts, let you know about volunteer opportunities, events like this Friday for Back to School Bash that is sponsored by the PTA, and it is from 5 to 7 on Friday night here at the school. We are also having a Wise Cats Grandparents Day on September 6th, and there'll be more information sent out about that soon. And on September 3rd, we'll be having our first PTA meeting at 5:30 in the cafeteria. That is also going to include information about clubs at Midtown. So if you would like to come learn more about the clubs that your child can join and participate in, you can attend that night, and we'll have a lot more information then. We have a website. Also, our fundraiser is starting on September 10th. So that is our monetary donation only fundraiser. We do not ask you to sell anything. You just let your student collect donations, and they get prizes based on how much donations they collect. It's very, no fuss, no frills, very easy. But we do have our PTA website listed here, and on that website is links to join our Facebook page. If you haven't already, we have a PTA Facebook page. There's also a Midtown parent page on Facebook where you can ask questions to your fellow Midtown parents about anything. Well, not anything. No car line. No car line those, please. But you know, like, I'm in so-and-so's class, does anybody have the homework for tonight? That kind of stuff is we love that, that's great. We like to build a community of parents there. But anyways, if anybody has any questions, you can find our email addresses on that website as well. So we'd love to hear from you.
So at this point, we're going to actually transition to our McDowell piece. McDowell is an optional field trip. It is a sleepaway 3-day, 2-night field trip. If you are not interested in your child going, if you're not into, if you know for certain that your child does not want to attend, then at this point you can go on your merry way, right, to dinner or wherever. If you are at all interested in that field trip or just knowing more information about it, or getting your form notarized by our two notaries over here. Ms. Demeester is going to pull up the presentation, but if you want to kind of meander over, she is going to need your ID to notarize that form for your child, but it's one thing kind of out of your way. No, oh, we're all going, okay. Midtown will be quiet those 3 days. Okay, so I get to tell you all about Camp McDowell, and I actually don't know if you're aware, I have taught first, third, and fifth, but fifth grade was my jam. I love some fifth graders, so I've been to this, I think 5 to 6 times, and it is a wonderful experience. And if you are able to chaperone, I highly recommend it. We do, I just want to be transparent with this, we do have to put a cap on it, there's just not space for everyone that wants to attend. Each year at Midtown though, we feel very blessed for this, we have an overwhelming parent involvement and response. We honestly draw names out of the hat, so you will all be able to submit your name, and we will draw out of the hat if we have over the amount we need. But the dates, as you can see, are October 16th through 18th, that is a Wednesday to a Friday. So yeah, you might want to mark that on your calendar. Okay, a little bit about it. It has been open and for 25 plus years. It's a huge outdoor classroom. It's about 13 miles north of Jasper. It takes about an hour and a half, maybe a little less to get to. The ratio they work towards is an instructor for every 12 students. It's just an awareness and respect for our natural world, and they just really take that learning approach to outdoor learning the entire time you're there. You're working together, so your child would have a cabin group who they sleep with, obviously just boys, just girls, and then a field group that would be both boys and girls for the daytime. This is the cost of the camp. So the student rate is $175, and that includes the camp, 6 classes, 7 meals, 2 nights of lodging, and a snack. Also, we have to cover the school bus, of course. And then if you are wanting to chaperone, that is $150. Some of the curriculum is correlated, all of it, to the Alabama course of study with the science, social studies, PE, and language arts. There are forest streams, canyons, ponds, waterfalls, meadows, hiking trails, all in the classroom, and they do try to make it happen whether it's raining or not, whether it happens to be cold, whether it happens to be super hot, they are going to make it happen. They have a plan A, B, C, D for everything to make it a great experience. The cabins are not beautiful, and we're not talking the West End. They accommodate 12 to 18 people. Rustic is a great word. They are rustic, heated in the winter. It's not quite winter when we're going. Indoor bathrooms, showers, screened windows. You will have to pack their toiletries and their linens. All of the classes are run by Camp McDowell staff. Midtown staff does go. Not every teacher will go, but we will have enough, of course, to meet the appropriate chaperone rate and needed certified staff number and allowance as well, of course. But they run the whole entire program and the classes, and they are phenomenal. They're so passionate, as you can imagine, if that's what you've chosen to do with your career, about what they do and what they're teaching, and it's really neat to see our kids in that kind of different environment and get to learn from those staff members. There's a full-time nurse and EMT that live on site there. There will be, like we mentioned earlier, 7 meals, 2 night snacks, and 2 afternoon refreshments. There are t-shirts available if you wanted to spend extra money for them to buy. Okay, this is a picture of where they eat. It looks different. They decorate it different all the time. But there is breakfast, lunch, and dinner in there. 2 meals on Wednesday, 3 meals Thursday, and then 2 on Friday. They're kid-friendly foods. I don't think we've ever really had a problem with the children eating the food there. They're very basic foods and things that most children like.
And there's salad bar, tea and coffee for any chaperones that go. It is the family style, and I don't want to ruin it, but it's really neat how they teach the children about like not wasting and don't let your eyes be like bigger than your stomach. We never want to waste food, and they teach it in a sensible way that I think makes an impact on them. Snacks, the afternoon canteen is Gatorade, water and a snack, and in the evening they have fruit and goldfish. I'll just let you view this. This is like a staple day one when they get their schedule. Okay. Here's day 2. They're very busy. Not a lot of downtime. They'll come home exhausted and cranky, but they'll say they had fun. Okay, and then that last day. Okay, parents must bring their child to and from school on the departure day and the arrival day back to Midtown. They will be transported on a school bus. The chaperones carry all the luggage, and it's quite a logistical masterpiece to get all of the luggage in the appropriate car, to the appropriate cabin. We do it by cabin. So we would designate each chaperone which cabin you would try to fit as many as you can. We really love like trucks, SUVs, if you have that, if you could like plan ahead for that so that like if your spouse has a car, you can maybe switch for the trip to borrow that bigger, larger vehicle to fit as many as possible. That's helpful. Any student that wants to go can go. If financial reasons are holding you back or concerned, you can email your teacher or talk to me about it. But this is a really special opportunity, so I certainly want everyone to have the opportunity to attend. They will be able to choose 3 students that they want to share a cabin with, and 1 student they want to be in a field group. We just want them to be comfortable if they're away from you. So we try our very best with that. It gets very hard, as you can imagine, but we really try to honor at least some of them, their requests, at least 1. Okay, so at least 4 Midtown teachers and staff will go. There may be a little bit extra this year because we do actually have quite a few 5th grade children in the 5th grade this year, so of course they may want to go with their child. Like we mentioned earlier, there is a nurse that can. We will need 10 male and 10 female parent chaperones for a total of 20. You must be willing to participate and go out on these adventures. There's a little canoeing, there's a bridge, there's a little hike. I don't know that I should say little. There's a hike. So if you're just not in a place in life where that's feasible, then maybe reconsider, please, because like their safety and supervision are going to be really important there. But we will want you to be able to do that and help us with monitoring them and making sure, their attitudes are positive and that we're just having a good, positive experience and good time. And the background check is a must, of course, for this, with an overnight field trip. We will be sending a newsletter with more Camp McDowell information very soon. Sorry for that typo. Let us know if you have any questions after viewing that, and more information will come home. The newsletter will be your guide to everything. It will have a what to bring, what not to bring list, everything like that in that newsletter. But tonight, as Ms. Rader said, the notary is over there if you want to go ahead and get that part of the process completed, and we will have more information to come. But I do recommend it. It's a really great trip. We, teachers, I think that's pretty much all that we need from you tonight, so if you want to go ahead, I know you've been here all day long, so you're welcome to leave, stay. And then I will be here, Miss Cecil will be here, Miss Becca Wilson's here tonight. She's our reading coach. I just want to make sure you guys know her. Miss Maddie Spurgeon's here. She's our math coach. Any questions? Miss Davis is here, our counselor, and Miss Cecil and Mr. Holmes are both here, and myself. Thank you for coming. We really appreciate you. It's going to be a great year. Thank you. Oh,
Miss Gabriel, is she